So, oftentimes, privileged people look down on people who are not privileged, and people who are not privileged, I mean, they look down on them for being racist or being homophobic or being pedophiles or just whatever disgusting thing they, the people who aren't privileged end up doing or being. Do you know what I mean? And you got to understand that it's very easy to hate on these people when it's like you're not in their shoes. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're not privileged, it's like you don't have much of an incentive to. Well, I mean, you're angry at the world for whatever reason. You know, for example, with me, it's like I'm on medication that I don't want to be on. I'm on a section, and the doctor's forcing medication on me against my will. I mean, if I don't take it, he's gonna force it on me. It's basically that's what he's saying. So I've got to take my medication. I don't have a choice, and I hate this medication because I can't write music on medication. I get writer's block. Everything I write on music, everything I write, is shit. You know, because I'm on medication. Because this medication just has an effect on. For some reason, I don't know how it works, but I just can't write music on medication. I've noticed the difference between, you know, when I compare the music that I've written when I'm on medication compared to when I'm off it, the music I've written when I'm off it is so much better. So I can't write music that I'm proud of when I'm on medication, right? And then, never mind the other side effects that I get. I get restless legs on medication as well. Do you know what I mean? It makes it really hard to sleep at night. And the side effects medication, the side effects medication that's supposed to help with that doesn't do anything. And they know that, but they give me this medication regardless. You know, so they're just like, yeah, just deal with it. That's what they're like. You know? And it's just harder to be happy in general when you're on medication, on this antipsychotic medication, you know. So, you know, someone in my situation, because I don't have a choice, I've got to take my medication, you know, I'm angry at him, and I take it out on everyone. Do you know what I mean? I don't like people, but also you got to understand that it's easy to like people and to, you know, be a good person and you know, not end up becoming racist or a pedophile or homophobic, you know, when you're privileged, you know, because when you're privileged, you haven't got anything against you got no reason to have anything against anyone, because no one's doing anything, no one's mistreating you, you know. Whereas I'm in a situation where I am being mistreated. It's abusive to force medication on someone against their will, you know. That's not a way to treat a person. And I've said to the doctor a million times, you know, I've done everything I can to, you know, come off this medication. Like, I've spoken to him, telling him, like, everything. I said to him, you know, if I get a job, if I clean my room all the time, if I speak to the staff every day, if I just do whatever the hell I've got to do in order for him to be happy with me, you know, and get to a place where he goes like, yeah, okay, so you're working with the team, you know, you're doing all this great stuff, so I'm going to take you off your medication. But it doesn't make a difference. I've told him this, and he says, no, it doesn't matter what you do. You're not coming off this medication. You know, that's not a way to treat a person. You got to work with someone. You got to at least give them some glimmer of hope. I've got no glimmer of hope at all. Right? So you got to understand, you know, put yourself in my shoes. I'm going to, for someone in my shoes to not get angry at the world and end up, you know, being these awful things, you know, it's like, anyone in my shoes is gonna, become these awful things. If you don't end up becoming these things, you're just gonna take it out on yourself anyway. Because that's basically what's going on. Is like, because you're being mistreated, you're gonna be full of hate, right? You're gonna be angry, you know. So you've got to express that hate in some sort of way. So whether that be being racist, for example, you know, that's the way to make yourself feel better. If you don't do that, then you're just gonna take it out on yourself, and you'll end up just being miserable and being depressed. And it's just like, it's like, um, um, it's like I'm already losing as it is. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna do something to feel better about myself, to feel better. I'm gonna take it out on other people that are hateful, or I'm going to be racist or whatever. That's how I'm gonna feel better. It's one thing to say like, oh, okay, forcing you on this medication. Go, no, now you can't be racist. Now you can't be hateful and all this stuff. It's like, no. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, if you're mistreating me, I'm gonna be fucking angry and I'm gonna start being racist. That's what's gonna happen. What did you expect, to mistreat me and go like, okay, now stop all this shit, like stop being hateful and everything? It's like, what's gonna happen? I'm just gonna take it out on myself, because like because even if I said like I'm not going to be racist anymore, it's not gonna make a difference. I've already spoke to the doctor. He's already told me that whatever I do, he's not taking me off medication anyway. So I've got no incentive to be a good person. I've got no incentive to be a good person. So that's just how that's how somebody becomes, racist or whatever. It's because, people, that person's being mistreated in life, and that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna become racist or whatever. So that's just why I've become how I've become. So that's all I want to say. All right, bye.